All right, so today we're diving deep into Neil Strauss's The Game.
Oh yeah, this book.
This book kind of took the world by storm, you know? I feel like everyone's at least heard of it. Kind of revealed this like hidden world of pickup artistry.
Yeah, pickup artistry, definitely. It's been a while since I've thought about this one.
Yeah, well, we're going to journey, right into the heart of it. We're going to
Yeah.
explore the tactics, the impact, all that. What do you think about when you think about this book?
I think it's almost like a social experiment. Like we get to see these strategies, the psychology behind attracting women, but like we're going to see it's much deeper than just getting dates.
Yeah, it definitely goes way deeper. The book starts, I think, by taking us back to the early days of the internet. This
Yeah.
is like the birth of this whole online, they called it the seduction community. These guys were serious, spending hours analyzing human interaction
Oh,
and, developing all these tactics to attract women. You've got like, Ross Jeffries, I think they called him the godfather of the movement. And then Mystery, who like brought this whole another level, I think, with his methods. Like he incorporated hypnotism and stuff.
whoa. Okay, so like, why do you think this resonated with so many men at that time? Like, was there something about that specific moment in time?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, the internet was new, so it offered anonymity and connection at the same time.
Hmm.
And this community kind of provided a sense of belonging, And they had this system that basically promised success in an area where I think a lot of men felt lost.
Right, right. Okay.
And they had their own language, too.
Really?
Oh, yeah. So you've got, for instance, negging.
Negging. Okay.
So negging involved giving like these backhanded compliments, and the idea was to supposedly undermine a woman's confidence and make her seek your approval. Then there were DHVs or demonstrations of higher value, and these were, they were very calculated actions that were just designed to make a man appear more impressive.
Hmm. Some might say that's just like self-improvement, right?
Yeah.
Like putting your best foot forward. But there's definitely like this undercurrent of manipulation, maybe, and objectification. Like
Right.
this reduces human interaction to this game with winners and losers.
Yeah, that's a great point. And treating women like prizes to be won. One of the central figures in the book is Style, who goes from, being a student to becoming like this top guru in the community. And we really see him transform in the book from this awkward, insecure guy into like this confident, successful pickup artist.
Right. So Styles' journey is almost like a reflection of the community itself, right? At first, it's all about tactics and tricks. But as he gains experience, he starts to grapple with like the ethics of it all.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, like, was that internal conflict something that a lot of people in the community experienced? Like, as they went deeper, did they start to feel that too?
The book introduces all these different approaches. So you've got David D'Angelo with his like cocky, funny approach focused on teasing and banter. And then you've got someone like Juggler who emphasized like humor and authenticity, which seems like a totally different path.
Yeah, it's like they're saying there wasn't just one right way. And it reminds us that, human interaction is complex.
Totally.
There's no, like, one-size-fits-all formula for attraction.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
Now, we've got to dive into some of the tactics these pickup artists used.
Okay.
So Strauss talks about peacocking, which is like dressing really flashy to get attention.
Yeah.
And having all these like openers, these rehearsed lines to start conversations with women.
It sounds very scripted,
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
kind of artificial. But, I mean, if you look at the psychology behind it, it's about influence, right?
It's understanding how to like make someone like you create attraction.
Hmm.
In a way, I guess it's not that different from what like marketers do or
Sure.
salespeople. It's just applied to dating.
Yeah, I guess you're right. And another thing that I found fascinating was field reports. So these men would meticulously document their experiences, sharing their successes and failures with the community, creating this feedback loop, so they could refine their techniques.
Wow. They really turned dating into a science experiment.
They really did. Analyzing interactions, identifying patterns, constantly trying to optimize their approach. And you know what? As the community evolved, it seemed like it moved beyond just like getting laid.
Oh, interesting.
They started emphasizing self-improvement, developing social skills, even building like genuine connections.
Okay, so that brings up a question, right? Can something that started out as manipulative actually lead to genuine personal growth?
That's a good question.
Yeah, it's complicated,
It
right?
is.
I mean, maybe the focus on self-improvement could be seen as a positive, but it's hard to ignore those manipulative origins.
Absolutely. And that's where we get into, I think, the dark side of this whole movement.
Okay.
Style. As he progresses, he starts to see those negative consequences. The objectification of women, the potential for emotional harm, the perpetuation of all these harmful stereotypes. And these issues are brought to life through these really powerful anecdotes in the book. Like you've got Mystery, for instance, who experiences this mental breakdown. And it really highlights the potential toll of this lifestyle.
Yeah, those stories are like cautionary tales, right?
Yeah.
It's like, be careful, this can consume you. It also shows just how seductive those power dynamics can be,
Yeah.
but how potentially harmful.
For sure.
Right.
And we also see Style trying to help Mystery, and another prominent figure, Papa, who struggles to balance his academic life with his obsession with the game. So even as Style is grappling with his own disillusionment, he still cares about these guys.
Yeah, it's like he sees what it can do to people.
Yeah.
It's almost like a warning, like pay attention, be self-aware, have the courage to walk away, even if it seems really appealing.
Yeah. And Styles' relationship with Caroline, a woman he meets while he's practicing all his pickup artistry stuff, this is like a turning point.
Okay.
He starts to actually crave this genuine connection, something more than just a conquest,
Right. He's realizing that real relationships are about something different.
Yeah.
They're about vulnerability, emotional intimacy, accepting all the complexities that come with it.
Absolutely. Okay, we've covered a lot. The rise of this whole community, the tactics they employed, all the ethical concerns.
It's a lot to unpack.
It is. But before we go any deeper, I want to leave you with something to think about.
Okay.
This book was published back in 2005.
Yeah.
And the dating landscape has changed so much since then.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
The rise of dating apps, social media. It makes you wonder, have elements of the game kind of seeped into mainstream dating culture?
That is a good question. Have these tactics just evolved, become more subtle?
Yeah, maybe even more insidious. We're going to explore that further in the next part of our deep dive. So we're back. And still in the game. Last time we were exploring how Styles' desire for genuine connection kind of clashes with, the whole foundation of pickup artistry.
Yeah, it's a real push and pull for him, that thrill of the game versus actually wanting something more.
Totally. And one thing that shows that conflict really clearly is when Style visits Mystery. He's in a psych ward, which is a pretty stark difference from how we see him earlier in the book. I mean, Mystery had it all figured out, right? At least that's how it seemed. But now he's really struggling.
It makes you think, doesn't it? Maybe those manipulative tactics they all used, maybe those actually has a real impact.
Yeah.
Maybe Mystery's breakdown, it wasn't just him personally. Maybe it was the system, the one he helped build that actually caused it.
That's interesting. A system based on control, on manipulation.
Yeah.
I mean, that could easily backfire, right?
Yeah.
Make anyone vulnerable.
For sure. And as Style keeps going on his journey, he starts to feel that emptiness himself. He's having all the success with women, but it doesn't last. That fulfillment he wants. It's like he wins, but the prize is not what he thought it would be.
Yeah, I get that. So what's going on there psychologically?
It reminds me of addiction. It's
Yeah.
like this constant need for conquest. You get the high, but it's temporary. And in the end, it just leaves this hole.
Empty.
Yeah. And it highlights that danger, right?
Yeah.
Trying to feel good about yourself by getting external validation instead of going for that true connection.
Makes sense. And his relationship with Caroline, that's like a total departure from all that, right? It's messy, it's complicated, but it's real.
Totally. And it challenges him in ways that being a pickup artist never did. Now he has to be vulnerable. He has to deal with the ups and downs of a real relationship.
Exactly. So you've got those manufactured interactions on one hand and then Caroline on the other. And it's like, you see that real intimacy can't be faked.
Right. It's not about following some script. It's about letting yourself be seen, all of it, even the flaws. Those are the things pickup artists try to hide.
It's funny, one of the things Strauss talks about is this proximity alert system. It's something Mystery teaches Style. So when a woman is standing near a guy, but she's facing away, supposedly it means she might be interested, open to being approached.
Interesting. It's like they're picking up on all those nonverbal cues.
Yeah, and learning how to use them to their advantage. But isn't there a line between observation and outright manipulation?
For sure. It's like they figured out this secret language, but they're using it to control things.
Makes you wonder about consent, If you're messing with someone's subconscious, can you really say that connection is real?
Good point. Or is it all just a reaction to something you made happen, like a carefully planned trigger? Which actually makes you think, Does this manipulation happen outside of pickup artistry?
Whoa, yeah.
Like, are we all being played in ways we don't even see?
That is kind of unsettling. I mean, the game might seem extreme, but it does get at something basic about how humans work. Like, we all want to be liked, we want validation.
It's true. We're all vulnerable to that stuff,
Mhm.
to flattery, to being influenced.
Yeah.
So maybe the key is to be more aware of it, approach things with a critical eye, you know?
Be skeptical.
Exactly.
The field reports thing really stood out to me. All that documentation, turning dating into almost a science.
It's wild, right? Like they're in a lab, testing hypotheses, collecting data, constantly tweaking things.
Except humans aren't data points. We're way too complicated to fit into some formula. And when you do that, it's like you're taking away their humanity, the very people you supposedly want to connect with.
It misses the whole point of connection.
Yeah. Which brings us back to authenticity. Style eventually steps away from all those manufactured interactions and starts to understand what real connection is about.
Yeah, he realizes you can't fake it. It takes real vulnerability, empathy, being okay with who you are, even the messy parts.
Absolutely. The stuff that pickup artists tell you to hide. And, it's important to remember when the game came out. It was a time when things were changing a lot. Gender roles, technology, just a lot of social anxiety.
Makes sense. These guys were looking for answers, I think. They wanted some control in a world that felt really uncertain.
Yeah.
And the seduction community gave them that. It gave them rules, a system that promised them they could win at dating.
It promised them mastery.
Right. But that system is built on some pretty shaky ground. Insecurity, a skewed view of women.
Yeah, even if some of their techniques worked in the short term, in the end, they just reinforced these harmful stereotypes.
Yeah, and it shows how power can creep into even seemingly harmless situations. It's tricky. So the big question is, has all that stuff made its way into mainstream dating culture?
Now, that is thought-provoking. Let's dig into some more examples from the game next time, see what they tell us about dating today. All right, so back to the game. We've been breaking down the world of pickup artistry, all the techniques and the ethics, and now I want to look at some specific examples, see if we can connect them to what dating's like today.
Yes, that's good.
So there's this one part where Style meets these platinum blondes at a club in Miami. He describes everything he does like it's a playbook, using a neg to get their attention, making up this fake time constraint so they'll want him to stay.
It's almost like he's playing chess, each move so carefully planned out.
Yeah, totally. And that's what feels so off, right? It's missing that spark, that genuine feeling you want when you connect with someone.
Right. And that's the problem with the whole pickup artist thing. It clashes with the idea of real relationships. Can you really build something real if it's all based on tricks and strategies?
It makes you wonder. Then there's a story about Heidi Fleiss, the Hollywood madam. She actually challenges Style to a pickup competition, trying to recruit women into,
Wow, that's intense.
Yeah, and it shows how these techniques, they can be used in some pretty messed up ways. Heidi, she's a master manipulator herself, and she sees these pickup artists as, like, potential tools for her business.
It's a dark side of things, for sure. Like, these power dynamics can get out of control.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that you have to be careful with this stuff. There's a line between seduction and straight-up manipulation, and it can be easy to cross.
No doubt.
Another thing Strauss talks about is stealing her frame. Basically, it's taking control of the whole interaction, leading the woman where you want her to go, even shutting down her objections before she has them.
That's some next-level manipulation.
Yeah.
Subtle, but powerful.
Yeah, like on the surface it seems smooth, but underneath you're controlling everything. You're taking away her ability to choose.
It makes you think, are we all doing this to some extent? Not just in dating, but in life.
Whoa, yeah. Maybe we are all playing the game without realizing it. I mean, the tactics might be extreme, but they get at how we influence each other. Persuasion, we all deal with that.
Right, and then there's the whole addiction thing. Some of these guys, even Style, they get so consumed with
So you
it.
forget about everything else.
Exactly. It's that validation, the dopamine hit you get when you succeed.
Yeah.
Even if it's based on a lie, it feels good. And the community itself, it feeds that addiction.
It's like an echo chamber. So with all the dating apps and social media today, do you think that addiction has gotten worse?
I think it's definitely possible. Dating apps are convenient, but they also turn everything into a game, right? You're swiping, you're chasing that next match. It's easy to lose sight of what really matters.
So what have we learned from the game? We've seen the good, the bad, the ugly. What should our listener be taking away from all of this?
I think the biggest thing is awareness. Knowing how this stuff works, the tactics, the psychology, it helps you see when you're being manipulated, or even when you're doing it yourself.
Like a defense system for dating.
Exactly. And it's
Yeah.
about paying attention to that power dynamic.
Hmm.
Am I trying to connect with this person or am I trying to control them?
Big questions. I think the game, in the end, it's a warning. It shows what happens when you build relationships on lies and manipulation. Real happiness, it comes from honesty, from being vulnerable, from being yourself, even the parts you don't like.
And those are the things we should be building, not just in our romantic relationships, but in all of them.
Absolutely. Well, that's our deep dive into the game. Thanks for sticking with us. It's a wild ride for sure. Hopefully you got something out of it, something to think about as you navigate your own life and relationships.